Fougères is a commune and a sub-prefecture of the Haute-Vilaine department in Brittany in northwestern France. Its inhabitants are called the Fougérais and the Fougéraises. At the 2012 census, Fougères had 20,040 inhabitants. The Fougères area comprises approximately 88,000 inhabitants and is currently in a process of growth, unlike the town center. History. Prehistory. The presence of many megalithic monuments, particularly in the forest of Fougères, Fr., suggests that the area was already inhabited in the Neolithic era, 2000 to 5000 years BC. Middle Ages. The creation of Fougères dates back to the Middle Ages. The first mention of the Château de Fougères is found towards the end of the 10th century. At the time, it was a simple wooden fortification located on a rocky ridge, whose position favorably dominated the Nansen, Fr. Valley and the surrounding marshes. Fougères was at the crossing of two Roman roads, one from Chartres to Carhaix and the other of Avranches to Nantes. From the 12th century, the population moved away from the shore of the Nansen and the city grew in height, divided into two parishes, Saint-Sulpice for the lower town and Saint-Leonard for the upper town. Since the Middle Ages, crafts developed around the tannery, the weavers and the drapers in the lower town. Built in the 11th century by the lords of Fougères, the first fortification, defended by Raoul II, 1130 to 1194, was taken by Henry II of England in 1166 and destroyed. Raoul II, stubborn, rebuilt a more imposing structure, and it became a stronghold defending the borders of Brittany, from Montana Saint-Michel to Nantes. However, the geographical position and the interests of the lords of Fougères often tipped in favor of the Kingdom of France. When Raoul III offered its possession to St. Louis, the Breton prince Pierre Mauclerc captured the city in 1231, which was then taken over by the king. The daughter of Raoul III, Jeanne de Fougères, married to Hugh XII of Lusignan, undertook new fortification work and beautified the city. The end of the 13th century was a period of peace and prosperity for Fougères. In 1307, Philip IV of France bought the domain, but the Kingdom of France was not interested and did not maintain it. After various fights and reversals of alliances, Bertrand du Guesclin entered in 1373, but the situation did not improve. Left to its own devices and victim of pillage, the population of Fougères requested assistance from the Duchy of Brittany. The town returned into its fold in 1428, sold by John II of Alençon. However, in 1449, a man named François de Surienne, an Aragonese mercenary in the service of the English, captured and sacked the town, with the aim of forcing Brittany to ally with England. There were many massacres, which caused a reaction from Francis I, Duke of Brittany, determined to get rid of the English. The Duke of Brittany allied to Charles VII of France, attacked the south of Normandy, and laid siege to Fougères. Surienne and his men were however able to resist and surrendered on condition of walking free. This episode announced the Battle of Formigny. Finally, the French general La Tremoille seized Fougères in 1488, during the Mad War. Early modern, in the 16th century, the town lost its defensive role. Crafts continued to develop, including the work of tin, rudelapenderie. During the Wars of Religion, the town remained Catholic while Vitter was affected by clashes with the Huguenots. Until 1775, Fougères talked little about it. The Marquis de Larrerie, a young man of high standing, then moved to the United States to fight with American insurgents. Back in France, after having been imprisoned for a month for leading the Breton conspiracy, Fr. He was greeted as a hero in his homeland. French Revolution. During the Revolution, the province of Brittany disappeared along with its privileges. The first changes were welcomed. However, the population was then divided by the civil constitution of the clergy of the priests. The levy en masse triggered a rebellion, the Chouannerie. In 1793, during the Virée de Gaillarn, the Vendéens and Chouans seized the town, which was taken a few weeks later by the Republicans. For 8 years, the town and its region passed from hand to hand, with the passage of many massacres and looting. The leader of the Chouans in the vicinity of Fougères was the young General Aimé du Bousquet. Main article, Battle of Fougères, the organization of the revolutionary celebrations, Fr. however reflected maintaining a favorable feeling to the new regime. The victories of the Republican armies were celebrated, including the siege of Toulon against the Anglo-Royalists. The feast of 26 Messidor, 14 July, established in 1794, was celebrated in Fougères. The anniversary of the execution of Louis XVI, accompanied by an oath of hatred to royalty, Fr. and anarchy, was celebrated. From 1795 other Republican festivals followed, such as the anniversary of the Republic up to the year 8, 22nd of September, 1 Vendémiaire, the celebration of youth, 10 Germinal, on 30 March, and the Festival of Recognition. Yet, little followed in the department, the 10 Prairial, or agriculture, 10 Messidor. Modern. Little by little, industry replaced crafts, and Fougères saw the establishment of shoe manufacturers. In the winter of 1906–07 a great strike of workers erupted in the factories of Fougères shoes. In response, patrons organized a lockout. Solidarity was very strong in the city. Communist soups to feed the strikers without family income, but also beyond. Children were welcomed by Rennes and Parisian families during the time of the conflict. Jean-Georges came to Fougères to support the movement. Glassware production also existed in the Fougères area since the arrival of Italian glass masters in the 16th and 17th centuries. The installation of this industry in the Pays de Fougères is explained by the presence of essential factors: sandy soil, sand being the main component of glass, a forest, since the sand melting was obtained at high temperatures, and finally the Fougères or fern, soda-rich plant. Thus, a glass factory existed on the outskirts of the town, Lainot, which flourished in the 19th century. However, following the social demands of 1921, religious unionism was mobilized. The very social Abbot Bridal, Fr., founded a new Fougères glass factory, La Cristallerie Fougères, as well as a working town to accommodate staff, designed by the architect Hyacinthe Perrin, Fr., from 1922. The 20th century was marked by the terrible British and American bombing of June 8, 1944, during Operation Overlord, which killed 300 people, injured twice as many, and destroyed most of the public and industrial facilities. 7. Since then, the town has largely been open to tourism, thanks to its medieval castle and its historic districts. From the 1970s, industry has been diverse: food processing, furniture, mechanical, glass, electronics, computing and robotics. Fougères also organizes an important cattle market. Recent events: on July 11, 2013, Fougères hosted the Tour de France as a departure town. The Tour de France is due to return in 2015, for the finish of Stage 7, on 10 July. Fougères is also one of the control points for the Paris-Brest-Paris, PBP, bicycle event. PBP is an ultramarathon event where cyclists are expected to complete the 1,200 kilometers, 746 miles, course in under 90 hours, and occurs the year before a Summer Olympic year. Fougères is a control point both outbound to Brest as well as back to Paris.